With you, I can be sad with you.
Hi everyone, it's me Nina. I thought that I would do an update today on Steve, and I know some of you that are on my other social media, you already know some of it, but I'm going to go ahead and share what we know so far. Steve, as you guys know, last week had blood test, and all of the liver blood tests that he got back were all bad. So I thought, and I'm not a doctor, I thought that it could have been because where they had cut down his anti-rejection medicine. See, Steve had a liver transplant 8 years ago, and he's done great, since he ended up having that GVHD. And because of that, they were able to start weaning a lot of his anti-rejection medicines away from him. Well, so he had gotten a cold. It was not the virus that is going around. He was tested, and it was not that. It was just a cold. Our granddaughter and our grandsons and my son, they all ended up getting it. And but because of that, and because of him, being a liver recipient, his immune system is not, not normal. It's really low. So he does have to be careful, getting around people that are sick and all that. For the most part, he's really healthy. So, like I said, I didn't want to make an update until he had more blood work done, which he did. Yesterday he had a lot more blood work done, and then he also had a doctor's appointment. As you guys know, his sugar was acting up, and it was reading so high that it wouldn't even come up with a number on our meter that we have. And so through the week he worked really hard, eating healthy and staying away from sweets and all that stuff. And the only sweet thing that he ate all week was apples, so I was really proud of him. We ended up, with the help of pills that they had given him and the insulin like I take, we were able to get it to where it was a lot better. It still isn't good, but it's a whole lot better than what it was. So he's been in contact with his okay, I'll just put it this way. Once you have a liver transplant or any type of transplant, we were told by the surgeon himself that did Steve's surgery that Steve would forever be his patient. And they've just got a lot that they like to watch, and Steve constantly has blood work done for Cleveland Clinic and up in Cleveland, Ohio, so that they can keep a close eye on his liver and how it's doing. So they know right away when something's going on, and they want to be in charge of it all. So our new doctor wanted Steve to have scans and stuff done. Well, so did the transplant team in Cleveland. So they called yesterday and told him that they were trying to find a bed for him. It's just like, I guess, all the other hospitals around. Not only are there a lot of, I guess, sick patients that do have that bad virus, but there are probably shortages of nurses just from them being exhausted, and especially, I would think, upon the transplant floor. Those nurses, my goodness, they earn their money, and they really take good care of the patients. So anyway, the transplant team called and said as soon as they got a bed ready, because of COVID, before, when Steve was in the hospital up there, he was allowed to room with one other person. But now, they don't do that now because of COVID. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that anymore, but I guess that's why I've been saying the virus. But anyway, too late now, it's already out there. But anyway, they told him to wait at home, pack a bag, and so he did. We got a bunch of stuff that we needed done, and I'll just tell you this. I sit back and relax a minute. I didn't sleep at all last night, at all. Okay, when Steve had his transplant, there was a hotel, I don't know how many floors it was, quite a few floors, that used to sit right across the road from the part of Cleveland Clinic that Steve would be staying at. And that got sold, and they tore it down, and they now have, I guess, big businesses and stuff there. So they don't have a place close by for people to stay at a reduced rate. Like I spent, when Steve was there in 2013, I spent a month and a half at that hotel. And because with it being right across the road, I walked back and forth, and it was a whole lot different back then than it is now. Well, now I got it at a reduced rate back then, and my niece had set up a GoFundMe, and I had people that donated. So, because even though it was a reduced rate, it was still back then $65 a day. And you guys know how we live. We've lived on. We live thrifty. we are tight budgeters, and we have to be. We don't do a lot that a lot of people do, for the fact that we just can't do it. We don't have the financial means to do it, but we're happy with what we got. I just want to say that first, okay? God has taken care of us. So, I thought about this time, where would we stay? Well, when he ended up having that, that big hernia that he has on his stomach, he had 3 of them, and he had hernia surgery done on all of them. And I had been told, once you're a transplant patient, you continue to be. Like right now, Steve is on the transplant floor at the hospital. No matter what you've got going on, they want you to be seen by their team, and it's easier for the team if all the patients are, where they can get to them easily. So when Steve had the hernia surgery, they had just started it was a housing, I guess years and years ago. It used to be student housing, and they all have like 1 or 2 bedrooms, and it's got a little living area and a little tiny kitchen and a little bathroom, and then every one of them has a little balcony. And they were really cute, but the only bad thing is that they didn't have elevators in them. They were all steps. We were on the 3rd floor. Well, that still cost, and it was like over $100 a day. And at that time, my dad had passed away, and Steve and I had moved up here with Mom, and Mom went with me to stay there when Steve had that surgery. And I think we stayed a week and a half, probably at the most. So yeah, we had people that donated to help us so that I could stay close to him, because even though it's an hour and a half away, that's a lot when you're traveling back and forth, especially every day. So now, because of the virus, rules have changed and things have changed. And so I took a blanket and stuff with me last night. We ended up getting the call. I think it was about 8:30 when we got the call, and we got up there a little after 10. And he got his own room, and I was allowed to go in the room and help get him settled in and all that. but I was not allowed to stay overnight in the room. Before, you could sleep in the chair if you wanted to, and the only reason that I never did that is because I do have a really bad back, and I sleep with a CPAP. So if I don't have my CPAP, I'm going to snore and have a sore throat the next day. So got him all ready, and they gave me this big list, and I'm not allowed to touch him, I'm not allowed to kiss him goodbye when I leave. I'm only allowed to spend a total of 5 hours with him a day. Nobody else is allowed in. No other visitors, not family, not anybody, just me. And it has to be the same person all the time. So, it would just be me all the time. So I told Steve, I read the list, and I'm like, well, I was going to sleep out in the car because we had to park in a parking garage, and we parked up near where the elevator was, and they had the parking garage attendants also on the floor that we were parking on. I don't remember which floor it was last night. But so we had to, we parked there, and I told him, I said, I felt really safe. When people walked by, the lights automatically would come on real slowly and go from real dim to bright, and I felt really secure there. And the guys were, maybe, I don't know, 100 yards away from where the car was parked at. And I was gonna sleep there, and Steve did not want me to, and he was all worried about it. And yeah, they do have hotels up there. They even actually have a Continental, I don't know the whole name of it, but it's attached right to Cleveland Clinic, but can't afford it, guys. So what do? You just make do with what you have. And I don't like to borrow money. I'm thank God, my mom's going to let me have a little bit because, with the gas and stuff like that going back and forth, until I get my check, and I'll pay her back. But, so I told him, okay, honey, I was so tired. I have not been sleeping good. Steve has not been sleeping good. Matter of fact, the last few nights he has slept on the couch at home because when your liver is acting up, you itch really, really bad all over. So he didn't want to bother me, but yeah, you guys know when you love somebody and you know that they're not resting, it's hard for you to rest. So anyway, I told him good night last night, and they had everything set up. They were going to do a liver biopsy that was it was supposed to be scheduled for early this morning, and then a CT scan and a ultrasound to make sure that he didn't have any bile duct blockages and whatever else they were looking for. So I told him I didn't want, it's hard to know exactly what to do, because I told him I didn't want to be there early this morning for all the tests, because then that would be counted as my 5 hours of time that I was allowed to spend with him. And so I told him, I said, I'm not going to come up early and find out when all the tests are, and then we'll plan on later on today. Well, I got home last night. It was exactly around midnight, and got home, and I was tired, like I said, and my eyes were really bothering me, and it started getting foggy, and I'm not used to driving, you guys. Steve drives everywhere, and I haven't driven that far in a very long time, and it wore me out. So when I got home, I got everything put away, because I had taken some stuff thinking I was going to stay, and I laid in bed and tossed and turned, and I was awake all night long. About 9:30 this morning, I heard from Steve, and I fell asleep, and I slept till about 11. So he told me not to come up today, that the tests are so far and so far between each one that he didn't want me to have to just sit and wait in the, I guess I would have to stay in his room while they were taking him for tests. You can't even go down and wait in like waiting areas anymore. So that's all that I know so far, you guys. They are looking to see if he's rejecting his liver. When I spoke to him a little bit ago, they were going to try their best to get him down for the liver biopsy today, because he's not had anything to eat or drink since he got there last night. And, that messes with your sugar and stuff, of course, if you're not eating. And he was thirsty, even though he had an IV in. So that's all that I know. I wanted to update you guys, and I want, more than anything, for your prayers. Those of you that are our prayer warriors out there, I know that you'll be praying for him. I told him, I said, boy, it's 8 years has made a big difference even in me. I used to walk that hospital, and it's humongous. But yesterday I made from the parking garage to his room, back to the parking garage, and I was exhausted. So I'm not physically able to do what I used to do either. So I've had my brother that lives in town. He has offered to help me if I need help with Willow or the chickens. And I'm going to go out today, and I've been thinking about how to do this because the chickens need feed. And that's one reason I'm getting some money off of Mom. But I thought, I can't get it except in like the 50-pound bag. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if the guys at the store will load it for me. And then once they load it, I'll be able to open it up in the car, in the back. And I've got a 5-gallon bucket. So I'm going to take out 5-gallon buckets until I can get it where I'm able to carry the rest of it into the garage. So I don't have to bother anybody else. Everybody, works, and I don't want to make them, not be able to do their jobs and stuff just because of me. There's ways to do things, and I am, my dad always taught us all, instead of working harder, work smarter. So how was that he said that? I'm so tired, I'm probably not thinking right. Work smarter, not harder. Maybe that is it. But so that's what I'm going to try and do to take care of things. There's a few things around the house I want to get done, and because I'll probably be traveling up there tomorrow. Okay. I'm sorry if it felt like I drug that out. It's just that I'm just so tired, and I know that you guys will understand. So just remember my sweet husband in prayer, and say a prayer for me, if you don't mind also. And I thank you guys for being there for us. And hopefully this will get taken care of, and his liver will be okay, and we'll be back to doing things like we used to do. What could really help us is, you guys know that we both only get disability, Social Security disability. And since the beginning of the year, I've gotten 2 checks from YouTube, and they were both for just a little over $100, like $105, and that's all I've made all year on YouTube. So what would help, if you guys want to help besides pray, is go back and watch our older videos. A lot of you guys are new. You probably will enjoy them, and let me know. Leave a comment or something. Let me know if you liked them or not. So, all right. Blessings to you all, and thank you again. Have a good day, and I'll talk to you real soon. Bye-bye.